What's up and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast for episode number 239. I don't know, man. I'm still here. Wonder's still over there. I don't know. How you doing?
I'm tired. It was a long day.
I'm also tired. Prepping for
Long, boring
TwitchCon is a
day.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a psycho who... Oh, I also got this tattoo touched up, if you couldn't tell. Because now you can, like, actually see the definition in the hammer and shit.
I was wondering. I didn't know if that was just the work of the camera or...
No. So, when I went in for this one, for the Mimic a couple weeks ago, my tattoo artist was like, I want you to come in one day and let me... So I needed to get a little more touched up on this one, which I did. And she's like, I want you to come in and let me fuck around with that one. I want to see if I can make it look better. Because like I said, I'm allergic to white ink. So we couldn't do the major amounts of white ink like we had in the past. So she's like, I have a couple ideas on how to make it look better though. So just come in one day and I want to mess with it. Won't charge you anything. And I'm like, oh, a free session of tattoos? Deal. I'm there. Deal. Gone. I'm there. Tell me when. So I went in last week on Thursday, got this one, and then went in on Saturday and got this one and this one touched up. So that was nice. And then I scheduled another tattoo for Thursday.
Oh. Nice.
I'm just gonna say it this way. People were judging me. That's so much money. Well, so the guy who my artist was going to have do my big tattoo on this arm is currently doing a thing called a $200 tap out. Costs $200. He'll do any tattoo you want as long as you don't tap out. If you tap out and quit in the middle of the tattoo, he'll finish it for double the price he normally would. But I'm gonna go get a $1,500 tattoo for $200. I'll die in that fucking chair, dude. That's way too... Yeah, I'm getting the one I've talked about since I was fucking 13. I'm finally getting it. So yeah, that's what I mean by it's gonna look so different from last year TwitchCon. Because, you know, last year TwitchCon, I still only had the one tattoo. Now both arms are gonna be almost full.
Right.
A little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. But I mean, it would be a bad investment not to go get that tattoo for $200. That's just bad business.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
you know this is going to be like close to a $2,000 tattoo. You had an opportunity to get it done for $200 and you didn't? Aren't you stupid? Bro's got a liter of Dr. Pepper.
Don't judge.
I'm judging a little. Oh, I have another energy drink for you to try.
Oh, did you get that? What the hell? Yeah.
The Witch's Brew, the caramel
Yeah, the
apple.
Witch's
Yeah.
Brew. Yeah.
So good. Oh my God.
Is it good?
Oh yeah.
What's the contents of it? Is it like, does it have sugar in it or is it zero sugar or?
I don't know. It's got 15 calories, no fat, 180 milligrams of sodium. That's 8% your daily value. So it'll make you thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
0 total sugars, 0 added sugars. 1 gram of sugar alcohol. I don't know what the fuck that means, but that's what that says. I don't think it's actual alcohol, but hey. That's it for that. No protein in it.
It's just fermented sugar. I don't
know, man.
I don't know either.
But don't care. Not recommended for children, people sensitive to caffeine, pregnant women, or women who are nursing. Contains 200 milligrams of caffeine per can. And it's like a Red Bull can size.
No.
Yeah. Big fan, though. Big fan.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah. So Do we talk about sports first or last? I have a list of things to talk about this week. I did my job for the first time in 239 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. I got us a list of things to talk about.
Oh,
This is probably going to be the worst episode of the show because there's a bit of a plan to it. That's going to make it
Right,
bad.
probably. Yeah, it's not going to be scuffed, so
Yeah, people are going to hate it.
I don't
Fire us.
know.
So you want to start with sports or end with sports?
I don't know. How entertaining is your other stuff?
I don't know.
You don't know until we talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Let's end with sports.
End with sports? Okay. So, I was watching the WAN show on Friday. Everybody knows
Mhm.
the Linus Tech Tips one. I bring it up enough. You all know.
Yeah.
They were asked, I don't know which game this was in response to, but it was some game. They were asked, do developers or artists deserve, like, compensation when an IP that they sold is destroyed by who they sold it to? I don't understand where you could get the idea. So I'm not trying to agree with this guy. I don't know where you can even get the idea that you deserve to be compensated because somebody ruined something you sold. Once you sell it,
Right.
you no longer matter. Your vision for it, your idea of it, it no longer matters. All the people who, well, George Lucas wouldn't like this version of Star Wars. George Lucas doesn't fucking matter anymore, dog. He genuinely
Right.
doesn't. He
Here's
sold Star Wars.
Here's a different context that
Yeah.
I would put it in.
Yeah.
You own a car.
Yeah.
You no longer want to drive the car because you want a newer car.
Yep.
So you sell that car to someone else.
Yep.
You might have really liked that car, but you want the newer car, but you sold it to someone else. That person then takes that car and goes and blows it up with dynamite. You
Yep.
don't get to be like, oh, that's
my
I like
car.
that car. It's my car. You need to pay me for it. He already paid you for it. You already sold it.
Yeah.
Gains were made off of that vehicle. You no longer own any right to that vehicle. So
Right.
it's just SOL, man. Maybe be more considerate on who you sell it to. I don't know. That's all I can say. You can choose who you sell things to. Unless
Yeah.
you're like at an auction or some shit.
But in that case, you
Or
chose to put it
even-
in an auction.
Yeah, but even then, some auctions will allow you to be like, no, I don't want to sell it. You know? So
Right.
you can still refuse to sell it.
Yep. 100%.
So that's all I'm going to say. Just pick better people to sell it to.
But I can't remember what game this was over because it was talking about some game company. But it's one of those things. It's like Linus brought up, he's like, that was one of the things I thought about when I was offered, $1 billion for the Linus Tech Tips channel and brand, is like, yeah, but if I take that, even if I stay working with the company, I no longer have control. I don't get to control the look of this brand anymore. I don't get to control where we go and what we do. And he's like, that was ultimately one of the reasons we chose not to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm sorry, once you sell it, you no longer get the right to care. You're nothing more than a fan at that point. It doesn't matter that you
Right.
created it. You're not the one in charge of it anymore. And if you wanted control of it, you shouldn't have sold it. Like, it is genuinely that simple. That wasn't a big one to talk about. I just found it interesting. And I don't know. I was wondering if you had the devil's advocate in you to try to make it make sense to why you deserve compensation. But
No, I have, I haven't even been sheltered enough to be like, I've never sold anything. So, I've sold stuff. I understand that after I sell it, it's no longer mine, no matter what happens to it afterwards. I don't know. That would, to me, that's a no-brainer. It's just common sense.
right. I'm going to go look
I
at
don't know.
Reddit, see if they had actually posted on the LTT. thing. There's a cat in a backpack. That's kind of cute. Oh, so I released a video on this today. Apple announced new iPhones and stuff yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They look fine. I'm not actually that, I don't know. Okay. Hot take, since the internet seems to be stupid about this, because I saw people post pictures of the last, like, 8 iPhone Pro launches. So, wait, no. The 11, the 12, 13, 14, 15, and now 16. So the last 6 iPhone Pro model. And the pictures, they just take the picture from the back and show that they all look the same. And they're like, look at all this innovation from Apple. Dog, do the same thing with Samsung. Samsung phones haven't looked different since the Galaxy S10. That's how this works. How much can you change a rectangle of glass and metal? It has to be a rectangle. How much can you change? You know, like, what? I don't understand why that is your, like, they didn't do anything. And I'm not saying okay. Every year, what do you get with the new iPhone? Camera improvements, battery improvements, and then display improvements are like the hardware things, right? And then you get upgraded internals, so your processor and whatever. None of that matters anymore. We're not like we were, when the iPhone, 4 came out, or the Galaxy S4, and it's this big leap forward. Those big leaps are gone now. That's how this works. It's going to be a long time before technology of any consumer-related technology can take a ginormous leap like we used to. There's not going to be an iPhone 7 to iPhone 10. Like, the form factor changed. Everything looks different. Everything operates different. We're in the future now. That doesn't exist anymore because phones have gotten so incredibly good. It's minor upgrades. That's not news. That's why this year is, like, I know I said this last year, but things are a little different. This year is probably the last year I get a new phone on a yearly schedule. I'm probably going to go back to getting a new one, every 2 or 3, because there's no longer a huge need.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I
know you don't,
phone.
But you're also not a content creator using your phone all the time. So
right. Yeah.
But the camera improvements aren't that huge anymore. It's like I can use one for 3 years, but that's also why I'm getting this phone. Being able to shoot it
mine until my battery doesn't work like it should.
Yep, that's fair. That is the correct way to do it. Like, genuinely. Yeah. I'm
like,
just
if I can't go half a day without my phone dying on me,
it's time to get a phone.
That's time to get a new phone.
Yep. But then but that's the other thing, is you have to be smart when you're getting a new phone. I don't know why everybody's like, Apple's so expensive. Their phones are $1,000. So is every other company's top-of-the-line phone, you weirdos. Apple does a lot of things wrong that we should criticize. I do acknowledge this. What are you doing? You're so distracted.
It's Dart Leak stuff.
Anything good?
Well,
do I even want to know?
There's apparently a meeting this Thursday.
Oh.
And everybody's
be there.
Well, I'm going to be. But everybody's a little ticked off because nobody knew about it until
today.
Like today.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people that have plans that will not be able to be there.
Yeah.
And so the new president's like, well, I mentioned it during the meeting last meeting. I'm like, yeah, but there was a lot of chaos and yelling and screaming and shouting over that meeting. You think everybody, will remember? That's the thing. You got to give people advance notice. Also, he should have texted it out right away in a group chat.
Yeah.
So that way people have it in writing and they can't be like, oh, I didn't know, like they're doing now.
Right. If I just tell you, then it's really easy to forget.
Exactly. Yep.
There's a reason that, like, when me and Wonder make plans on the podcast, I text him before the podcast is over. Because then there's, like, no shot Because if I don't, I can't get mad when he forgets. I would
Yeah.
too. Like, that's how it works. I will not be at the meeting on Thursday.
That's fine.
I will be in a
just-
tattoo chair.
I planned on being the only one there anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's also in the new bar that's joining.
Oh, in the that way town.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
I love that you
also-
know where I'm at in my room, so you know what direction I'm pointing.
Yep. because it's opposite on my perspective.
Ah, true.
But anyway, there's also another bar that is joining and wants to
Oh.
add 2 more teams to the league.
Which town? That town also?
The same town. Basically 2 bars down from the one that we're going to have the meeting in.
Oh. Oh. The one named after an NFL team?
Named after an NFL team.
The NFL team near us? Come on.
No,
Oh.
on the other side of that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think I got you
Yeah.
anyways. I'll ask that important
It's more
later.
of a brewery than anything else.
Oh, the new place.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've never been in there. That's why I wouldn't think of it.
Mhm. That's yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But yes, he is distracted. Good to know.
Yeah, so he well, and also the other thing that pisses me off about it with him is he's like, okay, I want everybody to text their team name and who's sponsoring you in the chat, and I'm like, or in the messages. I'm like, we all filled out paperwork that has our names, everybody on our team, and who sponsors us. Where'd all that go? We all turned it into you. Where'd that go? The only thing you'd have to worry about is the new teams that are joining from the new bar or the brewery. That's it. What? I don't know. This is going to be kind of a rough year, I have a feeling,
Oh yeah, for sure.
because the person that is doing it has no like sense of authority, and when he does use authority, it's in the wrong way. So everybody's just going to be like, oh, whatever, I'm going to do what I want kind of thing. So it's going to be a team by team kind of, no, we don't go by these rules. No, we do go by these rules. It's I don't know. I'm just going to throw darts, get
Yeah.
it over with. And then after this year, I don't think I'm going to play darts again.
Unless
At
I'm
least-
still here.
Maybe even then, if they can't seem to mellow things out and make it where it's more enjoyable, if it's going to cause me more stress than it's bringing me joy, then there's no reason for me to fucking
That's everything you do.
Not
You don't even
necessarily.
like volleyball. You don't even like pool. You still
That's
do them.
not true. I had a blast last night.
It was the first
It was-
game of the year. Give it time. You'll be back to complaining about it soon.
I laughed so hard last night. I was cramping. I was laughing so hard
Could have had you
because
bring me Chinese.
we didn't eat.
I know you
Chinese.
didn't.
We had apple peas.
Gross.
But,
Go to
it's actually
Chili's.
pretty good.
Dude.
But
what
anyway, the thing we were laughing about so hard was Keith. He was in the back row, and we have a guy on our team named Jonathan, and he was supposed to set Heath, and Heath called back row, but he meant like a short, quick hit. So where Jonathan just kind of pops it up a little bit, and he comes running up from the back row and just smashes it down or whatever. Never had an opportunity to do that until last night. It was just perfect. So I didn't know what was happening because I was also in the back row, and all of a sudden I just see this blue streak because Heath was wearing this bright blue shirt go zooming past me for the net, and he gets up there and the ball never gets there, so he lands and he's like, oh man. So Jonathan heard back row, so he set back row. So Jonathan's wife is also on the team, and so she's like, nobody back there to hit it but her, so she's like, mine, and she walks up and like swings as hard as she can, and it just hits her like halfway down the forearm, and it just beams Heath right in the side of the head. And it was funny because the entire team just fell from like we just all collapsed because it was so hilarious that the what transpired. It was just so funny because Heath would have never been in that situation had he never went to the front row to try and hit. It was one of those things you wish you had on film because it's just so hilarious to see in person.
Right.
But I don't know. We laughed. The other team, I think, was getting annoyed with us because we couldn't get our composure to send the ball back over or to, receive the ball. They didn't want to hit and be, rude, and even though they totally could have and just got the easy points because we couldn't get off the floor. But yeah, I had fun last night. So I like volleyball. It just, I wish, the league that was closer by was not on the same day as another league I have.
Yeah.
Or pool. So I have to go to the Monday one. But
next year, maybe if darts is out, isn't darts the same night as the flag football thing? At least there used to be flag football. Maybe next year we do flag football instead.
I think it exists. I don't know. I haven't really heard anything.
It's been 2 years, 3 years. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I mean that would be fun if we could get a team together.
Yeah.
Problem is, you and I might be available, but the majority of other people have kids, and
right.
We're getting old enough that nobody's available anymore.
Yeah. So back to talking about Apple. Why is the internet full of such bad faith arguments when it comes to Apple specifically? Like somebody posted a meme of Apple proudly presenting complete nonsense during an event and then like pretending they made everything up and, well, they said it was smaller, which isn't actually true. It's larger, diagonal, and whatever. And some guy replies, he's like, they never said it was smaller. They said it's slimmer, which is true, like thinner, up, down, right? He's like, which is true. That it's the biggest wearable display they've ever built, also true. And that it's lighter, which is also true. I don't know why these Apple memes are always about stuff that's just incorrect when it's easy to make memes about stuff they actually do, which is true. I'm sick of being the guy who like defends Apple in certain situations and everybody goes, just a shill. It's like, no, can we just complain about the things they do wrong? Not about things that make no sense?
There's plenty of things to complain about. You don't have to make shit up.
Right. And he's like, though technically everything they said was true, they had to do that due to legal reasons. The issue is that it was presented in a way that makes it look better than it is.
It's called advertising.
If KFC re-released the popcorn chicken and advertised it as more chicken than any past popcorn chicken we've ever made, and it only had a single chicken ball extra, though their claim would be true, it would also be taking the piss. No, it would just be true. I'm sorry. Yeah. If McDonald's releases I guess they've done a 50-piece before. So if McDonald's comes out with a 100-piece nugget next year, or even if they came out with a 60-piece or a 55-piece, they get to say it's their biggest McNugget box ever. That's how that works.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the number is as long as what they're saying is accurate. I don't understand. Now, if it was actually thicker than before, then sure, clown them. But what the fuck?
Yeah.
I know they did change some stuff, but
speaking of Apple, my
ahead.
brother is a big Apple fan.
Yep.
And he's always shitting on my phone because whenever I send him like a video or he sends us videos and stuff, it's super pixelated because Samsung, the app that they use for their messages is shitty or whatever. Something like that.
Let me clear this up for everybody. Apple did an amazing job at tricking the people who own Apple products into thinking Android was the problem. It's always been Apple. In this specific regard, when it comes to like the messaging thing, because Apple has used an older standard for SMS than Android did. So this actually got fixed this year thanks to more EU regulations. The EU saving America from greedy corporations because we won't do it ourselves. It's incredible. But so it's actually getting fixed this year. That's no longer going to be a problem. If his phone can upgrade to iOS 18, which it should, but
yeah, it's brand new. So
yeah, so but yeah, that won't be a problem anymore. But it was always an Apple problem that Apple fans made into a Samsung problem or an Android problem because everything worked when texting other Apple users.
Right.
So it became, it's their fault, even though Apple was the one in the wrong. I think that's pretty funny. That's just good marketing.
So that's the first thing he started shitting on the Samsung for. And I argued with him on that for a while. And then he went into the camera thing, saying that Apple had such a better an exponentially better camera than
That's
Samsung's brand new.
True.
Well, I mean, between the two, the newest phones that have come out.
Yeah, that's technically true.
Kinda, but like not. He's saying like, oh, Samsung's is blurry and blah blah blah. They're useless cameras.
That is kind of true. Like, so iPhone cameras are better because Apple's better at the processing of images. But the actual thing that I think he's referring to. Sorry, I'm not meaning to cut you off. I want to put the info out there for why these things are the way they are. It's not the actual camera. If you're in Samsung's camera app and take a picture or a video, it's going to look great. Not as good as an iPhone, but that's okay. The only thing that can take a picture as good as an iPhone or better is a Google Pixel. That's it. That's the only one. The only thing that can take video better is an actual camera. That's it. That's the only one. No phone can do video better. That's okay, though. That's like where Apple thrives. That's their thing, right? But the issue is when it comes to apps and how they support the camera. No matter what, even if I have a iPhone 5 years older than your phone, using Snapchat, your pictures will always look worse. Recording TikTok videos, your videos will always look worse. It doesn't matter if you have the newest phone and I'm 5 years old. Like, I have a 5-year-old phone.
Right.
Because of app support, and that's an Android issue, not just a Samsung issue. The Snapchat, when they're making, their updates for iPhone, are basing it around, 7-8 different models of phone. On Android, you're basing it around 700-800 models of phone. It just doesn't work.
Right.
So it's not as optimized, and that's just how it goes.
The argument I made was like, yeah, sure, like technically Apple phone like cameras are gonna be like quote unquote better.
Yep.
But the thing is the average person is not gonna notice much difference from an Apple picture from a Samsung picture or anything like that. Like, at least I don't. I can look at the same picture that was taken by this phone and this phone and be like, oh, they both look good.
So
they both look fine.
That MKBHD has run a blind smartphone camera test, and every year, so you don't know, what phones are involved, but you don't know which phone took which picture, and the entire test is just thousands of people selecting which picture they think looks better, and then all of the results are compiled and they pick which camera's best. It's never the most expensive Pixel. It's always the budget Pixel. Always. It's the Pixel 7a or whatever. Then it's the iPhone, and then it's some random phone nobody's ever heard of where the saturation's just cranked. So the colors are more vibrant. But like most people end up not picking an iPhone, or Android fans pick an iPhone. But you're not actually going to be able to see those differences unless you're a psycho like me. When just looking at your average picture. Most people aren't ever going to notice the difference. I do, but that's because I know what I'm looking for.
Right. And so my brother, I sent him like a video because this was over the Mustang rally I went to and stuff. And he's like, geez, look how shitty your video quality is and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, mine's an S20. That in technology,
Yeah, your phone's
era.
4 or 5 years old.
yes, my phone's 5 years old. It's
Oh,
you know, in technology standards, that's a grandpa,
my heart.
you know, an antique. And then the best part was what we ended up arguing in it. Like we argued over the same stupid thing for the next 3 hours after that. And it was the fact that he's like, whatever, man, your phone's made in Korea. Mine's made in the United States.
Nope, China.
And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. It's made in China and Taiwan and
No, there's
India
a reason.
and
Apple is very particular about that because they do want it to be known where it was designed. But that's why Apple products don't say made in China.
yeah.
They say
it was made in California.
Right, they say designed by Apple in California. Because that is technically true.
I should go back to this conversation and tell you how much it was pissing me off,
Dude,
and
I
how
get
much
it.
we argued over this.
I hate the war. I just want to defend Apple from the dumb shit.
Yeah.
There's so many problems with Apple, but so this is crushing. Look at this. I don't know if you can really see it. You can, for sure.
Oh yeah, I seen
Darth
that.
Vader on the Empire State Building.
Yep. Yep.
As a tribute for James Earl Jones. Rest in
Yeah, I
peace.
seen that.
May the force be with you. All the sadness. Darth Vader is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. What else were we yapping about? Bro's trying to find a thing to argue about.
I am, because it was
So, but I do want to go back to yapping about Apple and this fucking annoying thing. But yeah, this guy's just calling it deception. So I don't know what's deceptive about saying that this is the largest screen on an Apple Watch ever when it is. It's the thinnest Apple Watch ever. Yeah, but it's barely thinner. That doesn't matter. They still get to say it's the thinnest Apple Watch ever. That's how that works.
right.
I don't know what the issue is. Yeah. So those idiots are fun on the internet. But yeah. So the big thing, so two major things came out from the Apple event that are way cooler than that. So the Apple Watch, Apple adding health features to things is kind of what they do best at this point. Apple's almost more of a health company now than a tech company. The new Apple Watch can now detect if you have sleep apnea.
Oh, that's weird.
That's so cool, though. Well, so they were able a couple years ago to start like testing your blood oxygen level, which was really helpful during COVID and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, now they've just made that technology so much better that it'll study you during your sleep cycles and be able to figure out if you have sleep apnea, which apparently like a very large percentage of the world does, and it's undiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
This could be like an incredible thing to help people. That's so sick. Also, AirPods Pros, the headphones I have, they're $250 earbuds. That's an expensive earbud. Not anymore.
Really?
AirPods Pro 2s are $250. They are about a month away from being an FDA-approved hearing aid. They went from expensive headphones to the cheapest hearing aids in the world.
Well, they're gonna sell a lot.
Dude, okay, this is the thing. Apple is no longer the most technologically advanced company. You could argue that they used to be at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I'm sorry, that feature's way more important than when Samsung talks about their earbuds being louder. Who fucking cares?
Right.
They're
Well,
also
all
now
I can-
able to be classified as true hearing protection. You can wear them like when you go to the gun range or working with loud equipment and shit. The
Right.
active noise cancellation is now good enough that you can wear them as hearing protection.
All I can say is, if there was ever a time to buy stock in Apple,
Now
it
that they're
now.
a health company,
yeah, no shit, no
Well,
shit.
that-
Look at
and the
every health
EU.
company ever.
forcing them to like be less monopolistic.
Right.
Like, this is the first time I could genuinely argue that like people who've never had an iPhone like could now and they would enjoy it. This is the first time I think that argument's ever been real. They're allowing more customization. They fixed the support for now when I text Wonder, all the shit that should exist in text messages can exist.
Right.
Like all of these different features, they're going to allow, I don't know if they're allowing it in the US yet or not, but they're going to allow side loading and downloading other app stores. So you don't only have to use theirs. I still
Right.
would. Side loading is dangerous.
Yeah.
There is a reason Apple argued against it, but I also think that should be available for you if you want to do it. You just don't get to blame
Right.
Apple when you get fucking
I was
hacked.
about to say, at least it's your choice to not
Right.
use it or to
Right.
use it. You know?
It's one of those things where everybody freaks out. Well, if they allow that, then it's just bad. It's like, no, it's only bad if you decide to use it. You never have to use it. You can stay using Apple's App Store and it never matters. Yeah, I don't know. It's goofy.
I agree. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but the AirPods thing, and then just the base model AirPods are now only $130.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. Every time Apple does something good, people try to yell about it. It's like, no, yell about the dumb shit they say. This is sick.
Right.
The hearing aids thing is awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible, especially since they have at least a reported like 18 hours of battery life.
Right. Yeah. No.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I actually got a coworker. He's pretty much the same age as me that he had to get hearing aids, and yeah, they were like $1,500.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild.
Yep. So, I don't know. Apple event's fun. They released cool colors, but only for the non-pro phones, and that makes me a little sad. The
Aw.
pink one is so pretty, though. It's making me consider not getting a pro phone. I'm not even kidding. It's dude, it's like truly a hot pink, like what my hair used to be.
Oh,
It's almost got me.
it's not like the metallic like bland pink.
But I'm hoping, so there is a metallic it looks kind of pink in the pictures. I'm hoping that the new pro color, until I see it in person, I won't know. But I'm hoping that it's a rose gold. They're calling it like desert something, but it looks rose gold. So when I get to the Apple store, because apparently I'm going to go buy a phone while I'm in San Diego.
Oh,
Because it releases while I'm in San Diego, which is really annoying. I'm a little upset. But
well,
I'm gonna
San Diego's
try
as good a
to.
place as any.
Right, I'm gonna try to.
Other than they might sell out.
Right, that's why I'm saying I'm gonna try to, and if not, it'll be the first time I don't get a new iPhone on new iPhone days since the iPhone 10 came out.
Right.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Um.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's goofy. People are weird. Apple did some cool stuff. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well,
That's all I know.
I mean, if we're gonna get to sports, we better do it.
Oh, that's not even next on the docket.
I know, but I do have a meeting, and
I know.
I want to eat something before
You
I
might
go to
not
that
get to
meeting.
eat something before. Haha. Because, yeah, we're only 40 minutes
Well,
in. We
I
still got.
wouldn't be that worried about it, but the last one we had went until like 11:30 at night, and I was dying because I didn't eat anything before.
So, you know, the world's biggest technology conspiracy theory? That your phones and tablets and laptops and shit are listening to you?
Always listening to you, yeah.
I've always prescribed to the idea that that was true. That's no longer an idea.
It's a fact.
So I don't have this. I can't find the article currently, but listening to phone mic for ads. But a company that works with Amazon, Facebook, Google, and a couple other places was officially caught. Okay, yeah, here we go. I found the New York Post article. Marketing firm admits using your own phone to listen in on your conversation. A marketing firm whose clients include Facebook and Google has privately admitted that it listens to users' smartphone microphones and then places ads based on the information that is picked up. Cox Media Group, fitting name, the television and radio news conglomerate, admitted in a pitch deck to investors that its active listening software uses artificial intelligence to capture real-time intent data by listening to our conversations. Advertisers compared this voice data with behavioral data to target in-market consumers. CMG noted that in the deck that consumers leave a data trail based on their conversations and online behavior that AI-powered software collects and analyzes, and so that's why because I've always said that there are times where I will be talking about something. I've never looked it up. I've never searched for it, not on my computer, my phone, anywhere. But then I open, Twitter, and there's an ad for it. It's like, that's weird. That's suspicious.
Yeah. Well, my thing is what are the legal implications to this? Because
I don't know if I don't know.
Well, isn't it a violation of privacy, technically?
Has our government ever cared about that?
I get that, but
no, but that's one of the things that we have to think about. All the rules we have in place and all these thoughts about everything just might not matter because the government has never cared and probably still doesn't.
Well, the problem is nobody's raising a problem with it. Like, really, there's not like people actively bringing lawsuits, and what would have to happen is somebody, I hate to say it, but like somebody like Elon Musk or somebody to get pissed off about it and then go after, whoever that's being caught doing it and just sue people, get lawyers involved, throw money around, and then they'd be like, oh, this is more trouble than what's worth. We better quit doing this. It's not the fact that, oh, we were wrong, or they're going to admit that they were wrong. It's more of it's an inconvenience now.
Yeah. Well, and then so I guess you could go after CMG, but Google removed CMG from its Partners Program website after it was contacted by 404 Media for comment after all of this news came out. Google then commented later, all advertisers must comply with all applicable laws and regulations, as well as our Google Ads policies. When we identify ads or advertisers that violate these policies, we will take appropriate action. Meta, the parent company for Facebook and Instagram, admitted that it was reviewing CMG to see whether it violated any of its terms of service. Their official stance was Meta does not use your phone's microphone for ads, and we've been public about this for years. We're reaching out to CMG to get them to clarify that their program is not based on metadata. And then Amazon spokesperson said that Amazon has never worked with CMG on this program and has no plans to do so. This is the definition of our middleman got caught. We get to publicly shame them while immediately making a deal with somebody else to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an Amazon warehouse, right? The Amazon warehouse burns down. Amazon gets to go, well, we contracted the warehouse out. This isn't on us. We condemn the company that let this place burn. We condemn what they did. Amazon wipes their hands clean. That warehouse then gets rebuilt, and Amazon immediately enters another deal with that warehouse and keeps it moving. They add a middleman so that they're not the ones liable for anything that happens. That's what this is, at least in my professional opinion.
Right.
But, yeah. So, phones are listening.
I don't know. I've already had this conclusion for years that they were listening to us.
It's not news for us.
Yeah.
The other big thing that I needed to bring up. Did you hear about Concord? I don't know if you watched my videos on it or not.
I may have.
Judging by that,
It
I don't
sounds
think you even
familiar.
heard that it existed.
Well, it sounds familiar. I don't know what. If maybe I watched part of your video or something and heard it. I don't know.
So, the video I posted yesterday. Excuse me. Ow. That hurt.
Oh, it was
had
a
Concord in
yesterday
the
video?
title. Yeah. Concord has been shut down.
Oh, I did watch
Was
that.
the
actually.
title. You might not have watched it, but you might have seen the
No.
title for sure.
No. I watched the video, like half
Okay.
of it anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
About them, like they just launched the game and they're already shutting it down.
Yeah. So
Like-
last week, I had made a video talking about Concord and saying I'd never heard of it. Apparently, it had been in development for 8 years.
I was about to say, isn't it been around for or been in development for like 8 years
Yeah.
or something like that? A really long time, and it had come out and it was just dog shit.
It released like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 at this point. When it released, it was the Steam numbers and stuff indicated that it had sold between PlayStation and PC less than 25,000 copies.
Ooh, that's really bad.
Well, it doesn't help when you're in trying to put yourself in the same classification as like a Paladins, a Valorant, an Overwatch as a hero shooter, and
Mhm.
you cost $40 and those other ones are free.
Right.
It's not gonna work out for you.
And also, the other thing I can say is I had never even heard of it until yesterday in your video.
Yeah.
They're-
Most people
they're-
hadn't
they're-
heard of it until it shut down.
Yeah. So their marketing, whoever was in charge of their marketing, didn't do a very good job. I don't know if they expected to just throw it up on Steam and be like, oh, people will see it and buy it,
Yes.
or what their idea was. But nowadays you have to really push your game. You can't just throw it out there and hope for the best.
Or
have to
you have
market
to
it.
throw it out there and hope that, like, there's that new game. I don't know if you've seen clips of it on TikTok. I don't know if I've shared them with you, but it's Among Us, but it's like 3D and
Yes,
has like
I have.
proximity chat built in, and
Yep.
you're able
Yep.
to like pick up weapons and kill each
Like
other.
guns and stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe just release your game, and when somebody ends up playing it on stream, the world discovers it, and it's funny, and that's how that goes.
Hmm.
But if it's a bad game and there's no marketing, you're screwed.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. If the other thing, if you didn't have to do much marketing and it would turn out doing all right, would be if it's kind of in its own genre, it's its own it doesn't really match any other game out there. It's kind of its own entity,
Right.
I want to say Baldur's Gate. There's been a Baldur's Gate before, but it's not necessarily quite like the Baldur's Gate we got. Nobody expected it to be. We knew it was going to be probably maybe good. We didn't know it was going to be that good.
Right.
So I don't know.
Baldur's Gate's a weird one because I didn't expect to like it at all. We have to play Baldur's Gate more again soon Patch 7 came out. There are now evil endings. They added more cutscenes
Oh.
for if you choose to play evil characters,
Hmm.
which is cool. They also fixed some other stuff. And they released official mod tools. This is the only reason I'm waiting to get into it, is because I'm waiting for all the cool mods to come out through the official tools, so I don't have to use the dumbass websites like before.
Right.
But official mod tools, that's sick. I'm so excited. I'm excited. People really don't like that gaming news video. Is it because I talked shit on Concord? It's like 50% like to dislike ratio for some reason. I didn't say anything wrong. I
No,
just
all you
I
did
just
was
read
just
the
say-
news. I
You pretty
read
much just
the
said what
news,
happened.
right?
Well, maybe people are disliking it because, like, oh man, motherfucker, I bought this game, and
Well,
it's
see,
they're
but that
shutting it
doesn't
down.
matter because they're giving everybody their money back.
I know, but still, the fact that I went through the process to buy something and then have to have it refunded,
That's fair.
you know.
That's fair.
And there's probably some crazy ass people out there that thought the game was good, or
Oh, they're
they
definitely-
liked it, or
From
whatever.
what I've heard from people who actually played it, was that it was fine, which is probably the issue. It's what I said about Star Wars Outlaws.
I never bought that.
It's not bad, but that's the thing with video games. You don't want your game to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You want your game to be great, or you want it to be awful, because then at least either way people talk about it.
Right.
If your game is fine, nobody's going to talk about it. I can't sit here and yap about Star Wars Outlaws for that long, because it's like, it's fine.
But that's my thing.
But it's
Everything
like when
I've
it's
seen,
fine, you don't want to pick it back up, you know? You don't want to try it again.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing. It's like I was waiting because I heard that there might be some things that were, some problems with it. So I was like, I'm gonna wait a little bit and see what people kind of say about it online, after playing it. And I'm glad I did, because a lot of people were like, there's like nothing really exciting about it. There's nothing. It wasn't nearly as good as what was the one we just played before that?
Jedi Survivor, Fallen Order,
Survivor,
those
yeah.
two. Yeah.
Yep. It wasn't as good as Survivor.
So
and
part of my issue, I think, and I haven't finished it, so I don't know where it ends, how it goes. But to me, as much as, I've talked about Andor and Rogue One being two of my favorite pieces of Star Wars media, and they don't include, the Jedi or the Force really at all.
Mhm.
But in a video game, when it comes to Star Wars, and just when it comes to Star Wars in general for me, the Jedi and the Sith are what makes Star Wars cool and better than Star Trek.
Right.
The Force is what makes Star Wars unique. And this game, because it's not even just being an outlaw. I think you could be a badass smuggler or a bounty hunter or whatever.
Right.
But this game, and this has nothing to do with the character, because I know a lot of people are attacking her for some reason, and I hate that. They're attacking, again, Star Wars fans, and attacking an actor that works in Star Wars. That's what they do. They're pieces of shit. Not the actors, the Star Wars fans. But
right.
She's just not a badass. And I don't mean like because of how she's not built to be the like Han Solo or Boba Fett or Din Djarin or any of that, where, she is like really this upper echelon character, and she's not cool in the other way, like Kira from Solo, A Star Wars Story, where she can do some stuff. Like, she's just a regular person, which is fine.
Right.
That does not make for the coolest video game. Like,
right.
There's a reason that when they made The Force Unleashed, they said, if you added this character that you're playing as into canon, he's way weaker and actually more like these other characters. But because this is a video game, we understand video games. So we ratcheted him up to 11 so that you could have a blast with it.
Mhm.
That's how a video game should be. That's why people like the Assassin's Creed games, is because you're a one-man wrecking crew.
Mhm.
Though, the one thing I do like about Outlaws is your character. I mean, it actually makes stormtroopers look competent, because, like, lots of stormtroopers is scary to deal with.
Mhm.
Whereas you're playing Jedi Fallen Order as Cal Kestis. Dog, I don't care how many
Right.
troopers there
There's
are.
an army of them. Whoosh, they're all dead.
It's like, that's fun. I do like the way this frames that. I just feel like there's other ways you could do it without your character. I don't know. It just
Right.
feels bland. That's,
Yeah.
you got good ingredients. You just forgot the seasoning.
Well, see, this was the predicament I was in. I was like, A, spend money on Outlaws.
Yeah.
Or B, play The Witcher 3
Ooh.
again. And so I went with The Witcher 3 again because I never really actually, like, I played the game for a little while, but I never actually got to finish it. And it's been so long since I played it, I don't even remember. And there's been so many freaking add-ons that have been added onto it. I don't even remember from any of it, really. It's pretty much like a totally different game since I played it last. And I'm actually having quite a bit of fun going around playing a lot of Gwent, kind of a fun card game.
Yeah.
And killing monsters, and I love Witcher, so
Right.
so yeah, I've just been having fun with Witcher, and it's an older game. I had the disc already and just threw it in there, and voila, been content with that.
Yeah.
Then also college football and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I like how I played the CPU for like 5 weeks in a row.
Because you're Wyoming. Did
I
you
know.
see? Did you watch the? We'll move into football now by not moving into football directly.
Okay.
Did you watch the hype video I put out on Saturday? The Vikings hype video.
Yes.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on that video? I'm intrigued because I reached out to Miller for help because I had uploaded an entirely different version of that video on Friday before redoing it after talking with Miller.
Really?
So the way I had originally done it was everything, like all of the clips were like prior to the highlight part, that stayed just about the same. But prior to the highlights in the song, it was all of the clips from the off season in chronological order.
Yeah.
And Miller's like, this makes sense and is a good way to do it. But you hit me up asking for feedback, so I'm going to give you real stuff. And I'm like, appreciate it. That's why I asked, like, hey, I get a little annoyed when I reach out to somebody like, hey, what do you think about this video? And they're like, it's good. It's like, but dog, what do you mean? Like, can I make it better? Is there something, like, come on, give me some hint. So he's like, so I understand laying it out chronologically, but start with the sad music, lay out all of the bad shit that happened, then go into the better news. That way it's not, just talk about, Kirk and then Sam and then Kirk again. Like, just have it be all of the sad, these guys are gone, these guys are hurt, whatever, and then go into the good and then end it with the tribute to Kyrie instead of putting that in the middle, which was kind of where it was. I think his idea worked better. I think the views probably agree. Part of me wants to upload the other one just to see. But, but I'm not gonna.
To compare.
But, I just want to run it as a test.
I like the idea of having like the sad whatever downfall blow to the blow after blow kind of thing, and then you kind of like, oh, it's kind of like I don't know, like a happy ending kind of story. Like everybody likes a happy ending usually,
Right.
And so like, what if they go to go on to win the Super Bowl or something like that? But anyway, like this is like the beginning. You've showed the downfall after downfall after downfall, and it just seems like you can't catch a break. And then pretty soon, okay, hey, there's some some good stuff happened, and
Yeah.
then hey, there's daylight at the end of the tunnel, and then actually this team is elite, and then you can end it with like, oh my God, we won a Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
we can what better way to celebrate somebody's
The-
being on the team but not actually being able to play by winning a Super Bowl for
Yeah.
them, and and
Yeah.
and so and then technically, if that happens, you can still get a Super Bowl ring
Yeah.
for a person that couldn't be there,
Right.
and you can present that to the family, and
Yeah.
not saying that's what they'll do,
Oh, I
but
think they would.
I have a good feeling
Dude,
they would.
This whole I mean,
'Cause-
they're literally wearing like all of their team branded apparel. Like yesterday, Kevin O'Connell was at the thing. It has the KJ patch stitched on it.
Right.
And our helmets have the KJ sticker. Like,
Right.
this season
like-
is supposed to be for Kyrie. Like,
Right. So if you do go on to win the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
you can go on and say that it felt supernatural.
Yep.
Even if you never win a Super Bowl for the next 100 years,
Yep.
you can always talk about, yes, we lost a teammate, but I think he, in a way, guided us to, the promised land.
I'm not going to lie. Both times I edited that video, I made myself cry with the fucking tribute for him. Hurts every time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, and that's what you got to do with these videos, because it touches people,
Yep.
even a person that's not a Vikings fan, but
Yep.
it's just a fan of football and understands the game of football truly.
Yeah.
And you can touch them. It doesn't matter what team it could be a Green Bay Packer fan or whatever, a rival, and they'll still be like, okay, this is
Yep.
a badass video. I respect it. So I agree with the revamping the video the way you did.
I feel bad. When we were watching the Packers game, we were playing D&D when the Packers game was on. You should have seen my reaction when Jordan Love got hurt. It was kind of hilarious, not him getting hurt, my reaction, because it was that play with him running around and then somehow finding Josh Jacobs. It's like, how does he fucking do that? I don't know. Wait, what the fuck? No shit. He looked so in pain. That was
he was
not
like
good.
slapping the ground.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he
That's
broke something.
bad.
That's what that looked like. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was awful. We should talk about. So the Chiefs are still the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bills are the dumbest football team in history. I hope you know that.
Oh, because of
Gift
Xavier
wrapping
Worthy?
them Xavier Worthy. I mean, you also gift wrapped them Patrick Mahomes a few years ago, but remember, the pick for Mahomes was the Bills pick.
right.
I want the league to remember everything bad that happens is Buffalo's fault. This is why they don't deserve a Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, yeah, I know.
The
I
Chiefs are
don't
still
hate
good.
Keon Coleman. Like, I was impressed with him. He made
Yeah, but
a
Xavier
couple of very
Worthy.
contested. Yeah, I know. I know.
Also, just
my
not letting
my
Mahomes
argument-
get Xavier Worthy. That's a key.
Right. My argument would have been, a contested catch like that, I don't think Xavier Worthy would have made. But the other argument is it wouldn't have mattered because he'd have been 25 yards in front of his defender,
Yeah.
and it'd have been a touchdown, But I can't look at it that way as a Bills fan.
Did you see the stat they showed on the screen during the Chiefs-Ravens game?
No.
Last year, the Chiefs had 4 touchdowns of 20-plus yards. In that game, Xavier Worthy had 2 already.
Mm-hmm.
The psycho Chiefs are back, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ravens. I'm glad you're letting Lamar run again.
Yeah.
That offensive line is going to be a problem. That was bad. Like, the league should still be thinking about the Ravens because the Ravens should be the best team in football. I'm sorry. You just more than hung with the Chiefs and Lamar didn't have enough time to throw a screen pass on any play.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar's
Right.
just a fucking psycho, dude. He's so goddamn good.
Well, look how close it came. Like literally
Yeah.
a half an inch difference between tying up the football game and having an opportunity to actually win
If
against the
Isaiah
Chiefs.
Likely would have wore the correct size cleat, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right, exactly. That's how close it was.
Yeah.
And the fact that he made that fucking throw, scrambling, jumps in the air and throws the ball, and almost makes that happen is fucking wild. Not just quarterback, but receiver also making that catch.
Yeah. That was a great catch, especially after, I'm pretty sure, I don't think he was actually hurt. I think the way he landed just knocked the air out of him.
Yeah.
But even then, less than 2 minutes after getting the air knocked out of you, going and making that catch, that's good shit.
Yeah.
The RPOs with Lamar and Derrick Henry are fun. But Mahomes is still Mahomes, so that sucks. For the
Yeah.
league, good for Chiefs fans, I guess. Eagles, Packers, I'm glad Jordan Love is probably going to be okay from everything I've seen. They're not putting him on IR, just a sprained MCL, I
Yeah.
think. So he'll miss a couple weeks probably, but I thought he was
back.
done.
Yeah, the way it looked like he was. I don't know if he broke his ankle or I didn't know what he did, but I was like, oh, that's not good.
The Packers do need to be concerned, though, and I don't just mean for this little bit of time without Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Their defense is bad. Like,
Yeah.
really
Especially
bad.
against the run.
Yeah. And when you look at the teams in the NFC, look at the NFC North. Aaron Jones was awesome this week and is awesome. The Bears have a great run game. The Lions, David Montgomery is different, dude. God,
know. I'm kind of glad I got him on my fantasy.
Monty is a beast. The Bears got to be regretting letting him go at this point. They got to be. Even though the Bears running game's still good, you still got to be regretting that. But then you look at the Falcons, great running game. The Rams, great running game. The Eagles, great running game. The Cowboys, not so much. But Zeke also halfway looked like prime Zeke this week. That was weird.
Right.
Deshaun Watson still ass. High five. Also, apparently, did it again. The bad thing.
Huh?
The bad thing again. Another lawsuit. This one, so much worse. So much worse. Under the prison, please. Can we just under the prison with him? He's not good, so just get him out of here.
Right.
Yeah. So that exists. Trying to think. So, Cuzzo.
He didn't look too good.
Is it too early for me to start doing the I was right dance? Okay, I know his issue right now is so I went back and watched all the tape of that game. For some reason, Kirk Cousins is in his entire career when lined up in shotgun has always stood with an offset stance, like left leg forward, right leg back. He's perfectly aligned
Parallel?
now. Yep. He's changing his mechanics. Watching him drop back, he tore his Achilles on his plant foot. He is not confident in planting on it. So he now no longer has the accuracy, which was the only elite trait of Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the accuracy anymore, and his arm is not strong enough to just all arm it because he tried, and it was bad. The dude is a statue with no arm strength and no plant foot. And also, the bozo gene was showing tenfold yesterday. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like 6 interception worthy throws. I've talked a lot of shit on Kirk. He's not that bad. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Because I was just going to victory lap when he obviously wasn't as good as the MVP caliber he was playing at with KOC. He might not be league starter caliber if he keeps up how he played last week.
Well, he's taking a playbook out of Josh Allen playbook. The only difference is Josh Allen throws the football so goddamn hard, it's hard for anybody to catch it.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins can't throw the ball that hard.
No. So that doesn't look great. I'm trying to think. Another injury that's concerned. Rodgers weirdly looked fine. Like, a lot of rust, obviously. But you could see he was still Rodgers. He just wasn't moving around like he normally did. But he can still make the throws. He was making the throw. He was hitting guys. Right. Just not as much as normal.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. You're coming off an Achilles tear.
Mm-hmm.
But because it wasn't his plant foot, he's got more confidence to still make throws. And he's not lost his arm, which as long as Aaron's got that, I'm sorry.
Like,
he's
I
dangerous.
I want to see people like not play football for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then go back in and think they're going to be as good at football as they were when they were consistently
Aaron's going to need time. But I'm much less
I give him
concerned
2
about
games
Aaron.
And he's going to be elite again.
Just from what we watched, I'm not really concerned about Aaron. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Cuzzo is concerning.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't trust his plant foot, he's never going to be good again. Ever. If he's not willing to plant and drive off of that foot, he's done.
Which, after watching what Sam did, I'd have a lot of confidence with the decision that was made.
Oh my God. I'll get to that one in a second. I predicted the Panthers to win. They got blown out. So I knew the defense was going to be bad. I thought this was just going to be one of those sad shootouts because I was expecting Bryce Young to be Bryce Young. It's a little early to call it, but I'm about ready to call it. It's about time.
Yeah,
to
at
move.
some point, you got to call Bryce a bust.
Yep.
Like, I get it. It's early.
It's
early
only
in
his
the
second
season.
year, and it's early with a new coach. Like, you got to give him time. But, man, he's not.
He didn't. He looked worse than I could. I feel like I could have went out there and just threw on some pads and did a lot better.
He's
than
not
he did.
showing flashes. Like, you're not seeing what made Bryce Young a number 1 overall pick.
Exactly.
And that's concerning. Much like Sam Darnold, much like Geno Smith, much like, I'm trying to think, Baker, these guys who were high draft picks, a lot of expectations, played poorly, and were able to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce's confidence looks shot.
Yeah.
And that's bad. We've
Dude,
seen Baker's got his confidence back. Geno got his confidence back. Sam Darnold, it looks like, is getting his confidence back, which is half of the issue. If you're a quarterback, you have to trust yourself to make the throw. And it doesn't look like Bryce does. Sam Darnold, it looks like, finally got it back. He trusts himself to make the throw.
Mm-hmm.
He's not afraid to throw.
It helps you have someone like Justin Jefferson to throw to.
But Adam Thielen and Deontay Johnson are not bad weapons.
Right.
Like, this isn't last year where he had Adam Thielen and then nobody. He's got real weapons.
Also, I feel like he's confident in his defense, too. Like, if he makes a mistake or an error on offense, he's not like, oh, fuck, this is going to lose the game for us. It's like, oh, our defense will probably get a stop, you know?
It's like, oh, fuck. Whatever. Right. We'll be back out.
But what I was going to say is Bryce Young played like he found out his girlfriend was cheating on him with his best friend or something like that, like right before the game. That's how he played. Like, just, there was no ounce of confidence at all.
Right.
Like the guy's never picked up a football ever before.
Yeah. And
they were like, hey, here, you want to try and be quarterback? Here's a football. And then he was like, I don't know what to do with this. That was kind of shocking.
I'm going to cover another couple games really quick. Broncos. Defense, awesome. Bo Nix and Sean Payton's coaching ability didn't look good. Didn't look good. Chicago, your defense and special teams are awesome. Caleb, got to figure that out. That was rough. I know rough. Caleb said he doesn't get nervous. Let me tell you, by the way that game was, he was nervous. He was.
Yeah.
Some of those overthrows were bad, but also Chicago, that interior of your offensive line, still a problem. The piece that we all thought was good, Tevin Jenkins, looked like shit. If that doesn't improve, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Titans, what happened to Will Levis at halftime? Did he forget to put mayo in his coffee? I don't know what happened. He played awesome and then came out in the second half with Josh Allen's bozo gene. The pick six, what are you doing? Shovel passing it while getting tackled 20 yards down the field. What is the plan? What is the process? I don't, not important. Jaguars, can we figure out how to play in the fourth quarter, please? What the fuck?
Right.
Chargers, Joe Alt was the correct pick. In 22 snaps against Max Crosby, he allowed 0 pressures, 0 hurries. Crosby was in Alcatraz. Joe Alt was the correct pick. That's a defensive player of the year candidate. Buccaneers, Baker still good. Baker still good.
Yep. Baker's still good.
For the Colts, if Anthony Richardson can figure out the easier part of the game, the like shorter throws, the rhythm, that team's scary because I don't know if there's another quarterback in the league doing some of the shit Richardson did. That touchdown to Alec Pierce where he slipped, got hit, and still chucked it perfectly 70 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Bengals. You need to be concerned. Bad.
Right.
Joe Burrow's wrist injury last year, we talked about it. There's never been a quarterback who's ever dealt with it. One of the sacks Joe Burrow took, you can see he's reading Jamar Chase, sees Jamar's going to break open, goes to throw, and he pump fakes.
Yeah.
When you watch the ball, it slipped.
He has no grip.
A lot of people said that after that surgery, people normally only get like 70% of their grip strength back.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's over. Burrow also missed a bunch of time last year. Like, you got to give him time.
Right.
But, like, I'm not saying start ringing the alarm bells, but
it's not just on Joe Burrow either. Like, the rest of the team played like shit, too.
For sure. But it's
not protecting the ball, fumbling, in critical,
100%.
Just and that's Demeter. That's hard as a quarterback. Take it from me, I know really a lot about this, but make a really good throw, and your receivers fuck it up. The few times you do get to throw or do get a good throw off, and they don't capitalize on it, that does drive your morals into the ground. It's just you need something to happen good in order to have a momentum swing and a confidence boost. In that whole game, it was just error after error after error after error, and there was just they just could not get anything going. I don't know.
Yeah, that was tough.
So I'm not gonna blame the quarterback completely because the whole team played like shit. But that to me is more concerning than anything. That the entire team was being bad, not just one person having an off night.
Yeah. All right, yap about the Bills.
Well, there's not really much to yap about other than Josh Allen's still him. Josh Allen will figure out ways to win, even though he turns the ball over. But also, I'm not displeased with Keon Coleman. I do think Keon Coleman has some of the best hands in the league right now. As far as athletic-wise, he's not the most, special, like, oh my God, fast kind of person. But I think what Josh Allen was really looking for was somebody that he could confidently throw to in a contested environment and have confidence that your receiver is going to come down with the football.
Yeah.
He has that. The one play made by Shakir, Shakir is surprising me. I know he could be. I think he's going to be a really good asset. Um, the defense, offensively, I think the Bills are going to be fine. Defensively, I don't know if we're going to win our division just because of our defense. We do not have shit for defense.
No. The Cardinals made a mistake. And that was moving away from the run in the second half. I don't think the Bills won that game as much as the Cardinals lost that game, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not a shot at the Bills. That's just you were bullying them all day.
Right. Well, and a lot, yeah. And the Bills they're so like worried about big plays. Like freaking Kyler Murray was picking them apart because they would just play zone and soft zone. So Kyler Murray would just wait for the break, throw it to him, and it's just a simple pitch and catch for 15, 20 yards. And if that wasn't open, there was only a 3 to 4 man rush every time. There was never hardly any blitzes or anything like that. And so Kyler Murray would just run. And because we were playing such soft coverage, Kyler would run 15 yards before somebody would even come close to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Not sure about this defensive coordinator yet either. So
he was smart to a degree. He made a bet and it ended up panning out. He chose to take away Marvin Harrison almost entirely and say, okay, beat us some other way. The Cardinals almost did. The Cardinals defense is also not great. I don't trust Buffalo's offense in terms of being able to keep up in a game with the Chiefs if Joe Burrow and the Bengals get right with the Ravens. And that's because I don't trust the receivers. Keon Coleman is great. He's not going to bust a game open like that. You're going to be able to hit him in the end zone on a contested catch, but you need that big needle mover. I don't know if that's Shakir. I don't think that's Curtis Samuel.
Keon Coleman's the perfect person to pull coverage away from your star receiver.
But you need a star still, and I don't know who or where that's going to be. This game just shows this team will go as far as Josh Allen's legs can take them, I think, because that was the offense.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a dominant passing game. This was Josh Allen running it. And I think struggling with the Cardinals like this is a sign of some pretty scary things. And I'm a guy who's high on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Their defense
Cardinals
isn't that
aren't
good.
there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm higher on the Cardinals than the average person, but I'm not sitting here saying Super Bowl contender. I don't even know if they're a playoff contender. I just really like the Cardinals.
Like at the first half of the game, I was really, 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 I was like, we're not going to win a single game this year, kind of, type of thing towards the Bills. And then they, decided, we could score points. And then I felt a little bit better. But I'm also like, there's no way we can compete with the Chiefs. There's no way we're going to compete with the Ravens. There's just no way, You're
not on that level of team right now. You're not going to compete with the Texans. The Colts are a weird team just because they're so young. I don't know what they are, if we're honest.
Yeah.
Yet, but yeah. All right. I guess I'll move to the Vikings and then we can go. So, Vikings. I know it was the Giants. People have been like, well, all you did was beat the Giants because Vikings fans are happy. Numero uno. All of you saying, well, it was just the Giants, are also the douchebags who picked the Giants to beat us. Shut the fuck up. You don't get to have it both ways. Well, the Giants will win, and then when they inevitably don't because you're dumb to have picked the Giants, like you actually have to be brain dead. You don't get to then go, well, it was just the Giants. You don't get it both ways. Either they were just the Giants or you thought they would beat us. That's that. So this team, I know it was just the Giants offense, though. That defense looks legit. It doesn't matter that it was the Giants.
Yeah.
There's also this thing. The Vikings have not won a game by 17 or more points since 2019. Every other team in the NFL in that time period has at least 3 wins of such nature. So I'm sorry that Vikings fans are excited to see something that they haven't seen since before a global pandemic.
Right.
The Vikings are notorious for playing down to their competition. Similar to Josh Allen, actually, where it depends on who they play. If the Vikings play the Chiefs, they'll look like an awesome team. But then they play the Giants and look bad. Do you remember last year when it was 3-0 Vikings over Raiders? That's what I mean by we play down to our opponent. I get that it's the Giants, but you still have to win the games that you're supposed to win. Because you can still lose those. It is still an NFL team. The defense looks legit. Andrew Van Ginkel is incredible. Ivan Pace is still a psycho. And the secondary looks so much better than I thought it was going to. Now, the big test is on Sunday when the 49ers come to town. I'm going to be the psycho that picks the Vikings. And I think I'm going to be right. We beat them last year as a worse team.
Right. And also the way, honestly, the 49ers did not perform. Like, I get it was the Jets, like the Jets defense, but they did not.
But it was the Jets defense looking bad more than it was the Niners offense looking good.
Exactly. Like, there was nothing that was like, oh my God, this offense is unstoppable.
Right. And
defense
we all
good.
know Brian Flores and Kyle Shanahan's history of Shanahan not figuring out that defense. He just doesn't do it. So that has me pretty excited. And Sam Darnold.
Maybe it wasn't Sam this whole time. It was just the team he was on.
I've been saying it. Hey, man, I'm the guy who said back then that Sam Darnold was the best quarterback in that draft class. Now, I did say Josh Allen had the most potential, but he was also the highest likelihood to fail because Josh needed a lot of help.
Yeah.
And as I've said, to his credit, he did it. He put the work in. He did the shit. But Darnold's always had something. And now, even after the game, when he was given the game ball, you could almost see that, like, weight fall off of his shoulders, that, like, rebuilding confidence, like, okay, I can do this. Where, it's been so many years of everything is bad, everything goes wrong, I don't know if I can. Bro came out and started the game 12 for 12 for 180 yards and a touchdown. Bro was elite. And yeah, he threw the pick later. I don't really fucking care. Especially with our defense. Literally 2 plays into the game, CJ Ham had like his first career fumble. Kevin O'Connell after the game was like, yeah, that was a fluke. I don't know, man. We had to get one more out from last year, I guess. I don't know.
All I know is I think I'm rooting for the Vikings to make it to the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
More than I am the Bills. Although I'm going to cheer for the Bills.
Obviously.
And hope the best for them. But I just don't think we deserve it. And watch, this will be the year we make it to the fucking Super Bowl. Just watch.
And then Josh Allen loses to Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl.
I would be completely okay with that. Because then no matter what, it's a team that has never won a Super Bowl.
Right, yep. I agree.
But the fact that, I don't feel like the Bills deserve to be in the Super Bowl this year,
Oh.
Like, they just don't have it.
Let me see if I can find this stat. Yeah, I got you. The Vikings, the only thing that makes me think they might is the defense. Like, the defense feels special right now. I also love Vikings fans on Twitter. This is an important thing to throw out there real quick. Blake Brandel was awesome. The guy we signed to play left guard. He'd been on the team, but he hadn't started. He was the second highest graded overall offensive guard, had the second highest run block grade, second highest pass block grade, was first because he didn't allow any sacks or pressures, and was first in pass block efficiency. And immediately somebody's like, another Kwesi W, but some people thought Reisner should start. He should, but nobody thought at that spot, because the tweet, when I saw these tweets, they were back to back. It was that one first, and then it was, Vikings right guard Ed Ingram with just an abysmal pass blocking grade of 9.3. And somebody's just like, Dalton Reisner, please come back soon. And I was like, the duality of man. And people thought Reisner should start. Yeah, at right guard. Ed Ingram is bad, dude. The issue is Dalton Reisner's on IR right now. The important thing that I was going to bring up, the top 3 quarterbacks right now in efficiency as of the end of week 1 are Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Josh Allen. Ironically, that was the order of how they were picked
exactly
in that draft
how they
class.
Were picked. I just now realized that. That's absolutely amazing.
So
Not gonna
good,
lie.
dude. So funny. But all right, Wonder needs to go, and this was
Yep,
an
I gotta
hour
go
and
to
a
a
half
meeting.
long episode. So I think that's all we got. We'll be back next week with some more yapping. I'm sure something interesting will happen. I'm sure nothing's going to make Twitter a hellscape tonight. You know what's happening right now, right? The debate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
I think I'm going to
know.
log off Twitter for the night.
Yeah,
Uh,
I totally. Why aren't you gonna watch it?
I don't need to know, man.
I don't give a shit at this point.
Well, and it's also, okay, go out and vote. It is important. Where we live,
Yep.
though, it's not.
Yeah.
It's already decided.
You live in a swing state. It's important.
Yes. If you live in California or Wyoming, it's really not. We know
No.
which way that vote's going.
Yeah.
Vote for your local shit. If you
There
know
you go.
anything about it. Do not just vote uninformedly. That's really dumb.
Exactly. Do some research.
There you
Do some
go.
research.
All right. That's all we got, though. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.